Everybody from Jeffco.
Hi, Laurel.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Looks like we're
Yes,
good.
sir.
Yes.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. We are gonna get started in just another minute. Pulling up my notes. Okay. Um, it's 5:30, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. Before we really get into the meat of the meeting, we'll go through some introductory remarks from me, and we'll also explain how we're going to do voting. We actually have two test ballots just to make sure that we're getting it right. And we want to make sure everyone's vote is respected. And just forewarning everyone here that your votes will not be anonymous. We chose to do it that way so that we can ensure that we have the proper credentialed members voting, and that we could account for what the final credentials board will eventually end up being. Just as a word of, I suppose, caution, if there are any non-members in this meeting, please leave now. There is a live stream that's ongoing on our YouTube channel. That's at the COLO-GOP. So if you go to YouTube and type in at the COLO-GOP, you'll be able to see it. And of course, we put the link out ahead of time. But periodically, we will be checking the members who are in this meeting room right now. And if you are a non-member, we will have to boot you out. So save us some time, and please do it yourself and go to the live stream so that you can watch the proceedings as they unfold. With that, we'll go ahead and start at 5:31 p.m. Hope Scheppelman, I believe you wanted to do the prayer.
Yes.
So go ahead, and why don't you do the prayer?
Okay. Thank you so much, Chairman Williams. Heavenly Father, we come together. Heavenly Father, we come before you today with humble hearts, seeking your wisdom and grace in these challenging times. Guide our nation's leaders from every corner of the land to act with courage, integrity, and a true commitment to serving the people they represent. May they seek your guidance to prompt justice, peace, and prosperity of all. Lord, we pray for unity where division threatens us, for compromise where indifference has crept in, and for strength when the weight of the leadership feels unbearable. We ask you to bless those working tirelessly to preserve liberty, protect our communities, and safeguard our freedom. Today, we ask to take a moment of silence for the victims in the tragic American Airlines and Black Hawk helicopter crash in Washington, D.C. Comfort in the grieving families and friends, and grant them peace.
Hello.
That surpasses all understanding.
Yeah.
Surround them with love and
In
strength
fact, I'm listening
during
to
the
meeting via.
Elizabeth, can you mute, please? Thank you. And strengthen during this unimaginable loss. Lord, may we as citizens be ever minded of your responsibility to speak truth, defend righteousness, and seek your guidance in the days and lives today. Let us be instrumental in your peace, working to build a nation that reflects our love and justice. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
That
Thank
was
you.
beautiful, Hope. Thank you. Sorry, Dave.
That's all right, Randy. Randy, why don't you go ahead and lead us in the pledge? How about that?
Thank you. Everyone, create an image of a flag somewhere. I don't see one in your background there, Dave. So I have a little one on my desk, but I can't move it. It's attached. Anyway,
All right.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Randy. Okay, folks, we're going to go kind of in the order of the agenda that had been sent out earlier. I'm going to make a few announcements and some housekeeping items before we get into it. First, I want to acknowledge that the participant page, or the tab at the bottom of the page, you can see there are 309 folks that are in here, and we are going through to make sure that they are all members, but the chairman is not in doubt that we definitely have met quorum, and we will provide an updated sort of credentials list once we get towards the actual items that we have to vote for, and we'll do it beforehand as well so that people know exactly what we're working with. I have some introductory remarks, and I will go ahead and kick this off. First off, I just want to make the announcement that your teller committee will be Anna Ferguson, Hope Scheppelman, and Liz Temple, and your credentials committee will be Tom Bjorkland, Sean Haggerty, and Keith Maines. We don't anticipate that these committees are going to have to vote on anything, but just as a formality, in case something arises, we will allow them to do work if need be. But again, this is all being done electronically, and the credentials report along with the teller committee reports are going to be pretty much instantaneous, and we will have those for review and published for any member that wants to see it. So here we go. Here are my remarks. Over the past couple of weeks, and certainly the last few days, we've seen some in our party who've preached unity when convenient, but resorted to divisive personal attacks because they were unable to articulate any true problems with the proposals being put forward. In fact, when challenged to have a merit-focused debate before the vote occurred, they all stayed silent and backed down. What's troubling is that there are those in our party who have been very eager to attack pro-Trump grassroots activists and the current conservative direction of our party, while never expending the same amount of energy to attack the radical Democrats like Jared Polis. This state party actually looks forward to the day when its elected officials publish a unified letter against Democrats in power. Sadly, these attack letters usually are normally reserved for conservative Republicans who want to actually shrink government, return power to the people, and expect Republicans to advance Republican principles. To that end, I think we can do better. I think we must expect better. So as we gather here tonight to discuss the future of our party and the proposals before us, I want to set a clear expectation. This body will engage in a principled debate focused on the merits of policy, not on personal attacks or questioning motives. We are here to discuss what is written in these proposals, nothing more, nothing less. Every member has the right to argue for or against them, but that debate must remain centered on the substance. I will not tolerate character assassination, personal accusations, or any attempt to impugn the motives of our fellow members. Passionate disagreement is healthy. Personal attacks are destructive. Too often, our political discourse devolves into division when we allow emotions to overshadow reason. That will not happen here tonight. This party belongs to its members, and it's through honest, substantive debate that we will strengthen our movement. So let's approach this discussion with integrity, and if you support a proposal, argue why. And if you oppose it, make the case against it. But let's ensure that our words elevate the conversation rather than diminish it. We have real battles to fight against policies that threaten our freedoms and against the forces that undermine our values and against those who would see our party weakened. So let's not do their work for them. Now, I want to touch on a few things, and I want to give an example of the kind of debate that I expect. First and foremost, again, all non-members should have not logged in. And if somehow they did, please leave the meeting room, and we will be periodically checking the attendance to make sure it's just members. There is a live stream on our YouTube channel, and you're more than welcome to watch these proceedings as they unfold. There's been a question of proxies. Right now, proxies will not be allowed for this electronic meeting because our bylaws prohibit electronic meetings. Voting will be done electronically. There will be a pop-up ballot that will pop up on your screen, whether it's on your phone or desktop. And if for some reason that pop-up disappears, we will help you navigate your way to how you can find it. But essentially, there will be an option at the bottom that discusses the ballot, specifically poll question. And you should be able to click on that and vote anyway. Worst case scenario, these votes are not going to be anonymous. They will be public. So if for whatever reason we can't overcome any of the technological challenges that you may be facing, you can simply let us know how you're voting on any given issue, and we will make sure to put that on the tally for the full results. Also, if you are not speaking, I would encourage everyone to please use the mute function and to not unmute until you've been recognized. And if you wish to be recognized and are waiting to be recognized, please use the raise your hand function so that we can keep an orderly debate and process moving forward. Also, the rules that we will be using are the standing rules found on page 25 of the bylaws. Right now, debate time is 26 minutes total, 2 minutes per person. And we will go ahead and alternate between for and against. And in order to help me maintain the order of business, we will utilize the pre-registration sign-up form where a number of you have already signed up. But throughout the night, if people wish to engage in the debate, myself, Anna, and Hope will make a note of who wishes to speak, and we will do our best to get you into the rotation within the time constraints that the standing rules allow. I want to give one example of what I expect when it comes to debate. And I'm really going to be strict about this. Normally, I've certainly allowed debates to run over or even get beyond the merits of something, but for the purpose of this meeting, and especially given its nature being on a Zoom, we really are going to stick to what I touched on earlier with respect to a merit-based debate. So real quick, I want to point out, as you may have read, Amendment 6 is going to be laid over because procedurally we offered up an amendment that went beyond the scope, and we want to make sure that members are having enough time to digest any amendments to the amendments so that they can make a better informed decision. But as an example of what I'm talking about with respect to merit-based debates, a good example of this is if you supported Amendment 6 and you were to be recognized, you would come forward and you would speak your position of support for Amendment 6 by saying something to the effect that I support Amendment 6 because the underlying law that granted automatic voting membership rights to our elected officials is unconstitutional, and any opportunity we have as a party to protect our First Amendment freedom of associational rights is something that we should do. And we should give greater weight to those grassroots activist members who had to earn their right to be voting members in our party. If Donald Trump, the President of the United States, is not granted automatic voting rights of the Republican National Committee, nor are Republican congressmen or senators, then neither should the state elected officials. They should run for office.
Mr. Chairman, are you giving your debate right now? This is not an example. This is a full-on debate. Like you're stating your case.
Excuse me, who is this?
This is Congresswoman Boebert.
Congresswoman Boebert. Amendment 6 has been laid over, so this is an example of what a proper debate would be. So you'll notice I'm not talking about Amendment 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. It's about Amendment 6. Also, there will be no interruptions. I will not tolerate that. We will do so in an orderly fashion. If you have a hand that you wish to raise, Congresswoman, or anyone else, please do so. John Fielding's been waiting, and once I'm done with my instructions, I'm going to recognize him. So again, Amendment 6, that would be a focused debate on support. Focused debate on against for Amendment 6, since we're not hearing it, would be, I don't believe we should support Amendment 6 because it would shrink the number of elected officials and their representational voice on our committee and harm our ability to have a diverse number of voices to help us ultimately win elections and learn how to win over voters so that we can be a stronger party. That is a clear example of what's a proper support, a proper against debate. An improper one would be, I support this because so-and-so is terrible, they're evil, they're corrupt, and I don't like them. Improper would be, I am against this because whoever's proposing it is evil, corrupt, so on and so forth, and we can't trust them. Those types of words will not be allowed during tonight's debate. I'm going to insist that we focus on the words on the sheet of paper. If we can't do that, then you will be asked to redirect your comments to the actual proposals themselves once. And if you can't continue to do so, we will move on to the next person who's in line waiting to debate. John, you have a question?
There, and give me a moment to please unmute. Mr. Chairman, I have a question, and I also have one piece of business I would like to do. The initial piece of business is, since this is a bylaws-focused meeting, I want to make sure, as chairman of the State Party Bylaws Committee, to thank and acknowledge my fellow members for their assistance in preparing these bylaws and in preparing the bylaws committee report that's been distributed. I would like to thank Dan Brown from Douglas County, Brad Collins from El Paso County, Sean Hegarty from Jefferson County, and Keith Maines from Adams County. Mr. Chairman, my question is this meeting for voting members only, or are not, what is the method of treating the non-voting members that we have? Under our bylaws, sir, we have two classes of members, and I would respectfully remind the chair that the non-voting members have all the rights of voting members, except that they don't receive a ballot. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fielding, and I want to thank our chair, John Fielding, as well as the committee for the work that they've put in to the proposals that are before you. Members, I do got to say it was a challenge to figure out how to deal with non-voting members. If there are any non-voting members who are on the live stream, please feel free to shoot myself, Anna, or Hope a text or an email. We have different pop-ups right now. If there's something that you wish to touch on or you need to touch on, we'll try our best to accommodate you. But admittedly, in order to accommodate this Zoom meeting, we really wanted to focus in on the voting members and making sure that they were the ones that were giving priority access. Congressman Boebert, you have your hand raised.
Actually, I was just about to lower it. I'm gonna wait until your credentialing report is finalized. Thank you.
Okay. Laurel Eimer, excuse me.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just was wondering, do we have a parliamentarian attending and participating in the meeting tonight?
We do. Our parliamentarian is the same parliamentarian we've been using for a long time, actually. It spans different administrations. Gregory Carlson is our parliamentarian and continues to be our parliamentarian. If there are any issues of parliamentary procedure, I will confer with Gregory, and then we'll render a ruling and let the body move forward however they wish based on that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are, let's see here, we're at 328 participants, and so I'm going to go ahead and ask, let's see here, Tom.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, who's speaking?
Terry Porter, my hand's been raised.
Yeah, 1 second, please. Tom, if you could work with Anna and Hope, as well as potentially Keith and Sean, if need be, to kind of just look through the participant and registration of attendance and give us a number, that'd be great, so we can conduct business. Go ahead, Teresa, you had your hand up.
Yes, I know that when the first call came out, there were a number of members that did not receive because for some reason their emails had gotten dropped. Do we know how many those were? And do we know that all members have received the call
All
in
members,
time on the 30-day notice?
all members that we had information for have received the call and proper notice has been given. And they've been given additional information throughout the month so that they could be here. And we even went above and beyond and asked individuals if some of their information that may have been bouncing in our system was in fact current, or if they prefer some other email so that they could receive the agenda items here.
And my second question is about the rules of the meeting. I've seen different things popped out, and I don't know what our rules for the meeting tonight are.
Please refer to the agenda that was sent out today. It has the bylaws and the standing rules that can be found on page 25, I believe.
Thank you.
Michelle Gray, you had a
Yes.
question?
I have a point of order. Per Rule 23, we are required to present a valid government-issued ID to the Credentials Committee. Since this has not occurred, this meeting is improper, and we should immediately adjourn.
The chair rules that this meeting is proper and that sufficient steps have been taken to ensure proper identification of its members. Westenheimer, your hand is up.
Chairman, point of
So can I
clarification.
appeal from the decision of the chair?
Westenheimer has been recognized, but I can come back to you. Please, please, no crosstalk here. Weston's going to be offered first, and Michelle, if you want to appeal the decision of the chair, we can go ahead and do that. But I'm going to do this properly and in order, and there will be no crosstalk. Go ahead, Weston.
Mr. Chairman, Westenheimer, Jefferson County. Responding to the point of order from the member from Pueblo, I would move, once we adopt the standing rules, that we suspend meeting rule number 23, which would require the ID verification. But as I am fully aware, we have not accepted the standing rules as of yet. But once that time comes, I would like to make the motion that we suspend meeting rule 23 to avoid that credentialing issue.
The chair doesn't believe there is a credential meeting issue, and Rule 23, as well as all the other standing rules, are in effect right now. So there is no need to adopt them.
Mr. Chairman, if I may respectfully interrupt, by my copy of the rules, it is Rule 24 that requires the ID, not Rule 23.
Thank you for the clarification. Let's go back to Michelle Gray. You, I believe, wanted to appeal the decision of the chairman, which you are welcome to do so, but we wanted to do that in a proper order. So go ahead, Michelle.
Yeah, so I would just, well, I think I already did it. Do I just need to do it again?
They say you wish to, again, please no crosstalk.
Okay, so Mr. Chairman, Michelle Gray, Pueblo County Chair, I appeal from the decision of the chair.
Okay. All right, members, there has been an appeal to the decision of the chair. If everyone could please mute, what we'll do is, this is a good way to actually test out our ballots. So what I'm going to do right now is go ahead and mute real quick. I want to check with Gregory Carlson on one thing. and then we'll go ahead and vote on the appeal. So the chair will stand at ease for 1 minute.
Pardon me, how do you vote again?
I think he's going to tell us.
We have not received instructions on how to do that yet. He's setting that up. So I would just like to comment, Ken Montera, you're looking very Captain Kirkish tonight.
Little chilly my way.
As they're working on getting this vote set up, will this vote also be public to see how people voted so we can see who supports voter ID laws or not?
Well stated, sir. Thank you.
I would wait until Dave comes back online and then ask him that question, actually. It's a good question.
Well, what's the solution for making this available like it is to do Zoom? There's no solution?
I have no idea at this point. That's what I'm saying. When Dave gets back online, let's ask him. Good question.
It's nice to have Zooms available. It's nice for people. So, I mean, that would seem to be impossible, but you're identified a different way here.
In favor of the appeal.
Got it.
I'm sorry, you think the chair actually should be.
Okay, I'm back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your patience. We actually wanted to get a poll set up. That took about a minute or so to kind of work that out, and I wanted to check with Gregory on what we're doing here. The motion that was put forward is by Michelle Gray, was the appealing the decision, and the decision that I rendered was that the steps that we've taken to ensure that people are actually who they claim to be is adequate and should take care of the issue that is being appealed right now. However, this is, of course, your decision to make if you so choose. We'll go ahead and vote on this, and you all can decide how best you want to do it. Before we do that, though, I think we have 2 questions from John and Lynetta, and then after that, we'll go to the vote. John, you had a question? You're muted, John.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think it might be, I respectfully think that it might be helpful if you could tell us exactly what steps have been taken to verify the login as in effect, as a substitute for the government ID requirement of Rule 24. I think it would be helpful to know more than just the steps that we have taken. It might be appropriate to have a short description of that. Thank you.
Sure. Sure. Thank you, John. Lynetta, you had a question?
Yes, Chairman Williams. Point of clarification, if the appeal is approved by the governing body, that will stop the meeting, and if it is not approved, then the meeting will continue. Your ruling on Rule 24 will allow us to continue the meeting, correct?
I'm going to mute you, Lynetta, but I think I got your question. Basically, what's the effect? And it would be to overturn the chair's decision, but not necessarily stop the meeting. I would need to check with Gregory Carlson before we would do anything further to make sure that we're following proper parliamentary procedure. John, to answer your question, and then we're going to get into the vote. We have done our best to painstakingly go through the members to see which preferred email that they have, as well as lining that up with other identifying information to ensure that these are, in fact, the correct members. We even had a number of members who have changed over from various counties for various reasons, appointments or replacement individuals, and we worked with them to identify them properly. And the registration aspect also helps us to see who exactly has registered so that we can line up their email with the email that we have on file. At the end of the day, I don't think anyone here actually thinks that someone is engaged in identity theft here. I think we're all adults and know who's who, and we're all acting in good faith. But with that, we'll go ahead and do the appeal. I'm going to launch it right now.
Mr. Chairman, point of order.
A yes vote.
Mr. Chairman,
No.
Point of order.
Mr. Chairman, point of order. We have not had a final credentials, so we can't have a vote until we have a final credentials report.
And Mr. Chairman, I believe my point of order was prior to Teresa, even though I agree with her, but I'd like to be recognized for a point of order.
I've already opened balloting. The credentials report, initial one, is 332. So a yes vote would continue the meeting, or not continue. A yes vote would agree. You agree with the chair that sufficient steps have been taken to ensure that we can have a
Mr.
meeting.
Chairman, my name is Representative Ron Weinberg. I just want to be recognized for a minute before you open the vote.
The vote has been opened. Please vote.
Mr. Chairman. Dave, it looks like you're voting the yes is to appeal and the no is not to appeal. Am I reading that wrong?
A yes vote is that you agree with the decision of the chair. A no vote is you disagree.
But at the top it says appeal the decision of the chair.
A yes vote is you agree with the decision of the chair. A no vote is you disagree.
That's not how it was written.
Yeah, that's not the way it reads.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, point of order. This is
the wrong way then.
This is Representative Ron Weinberg.
Same. I just voted the wrong way.
I'd like to be recognized for a point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Ladies and gentlemen, hold on. If people are saying that they didn't vote correctly or they misunderstood the vote, otherwise we can redo the poll. It's okay. We will count what you count. That's fine, but there is no point in having any more discussion over this. If you wish to appeal the decision of the chair because you disagree with my interpretation of how to move forward with respect to credentialing, then simply vote that way. There's no need for any parliamentary tricks or to drag these on. I'll go ahead and
no vote came up for me. How do I vote?
I will go ahead. I will go ahead. Please no crosstalk. I will go ahead and I will go ahead and stop this poll right now, and then we will redo another one. But please no crosstalk.
Mr. Chairman, you have plenty of time at this point to take comment. Freedom of speech is what the Republican Party stands behind, and it sounds like we are being blocked. We have genuine concerns with what's going on. There's nothing to be concerned about with what we have concerns with.
Representative Weinberg, I'm trying to get the ballot ended and then rewritten so that you all understand it.
Mr. Chairman, we had multiple.
If you wish to be recognized,
Mr. Chairman, I've asked
if
for a
you
point
wish to be recognized,
I
just give me.
keep getting muted.
Please stop. Please
Your
stop.
staff I keep getting muted. I'm
Ron.
getting muted on a multiple.
Parliamentary inquiries need to
Ron.
be responded to.
This
Ron.
is absolutely.
Ron.
I keep getting muted.
Ron, stop.
He is.
Stop. Everybody stop.
This is absolutely ridiculous.
Ron, let me fix the ballot and I will come to you. Hold on.
I've got no problem with that, Mr. Chairman. Your staff keeps muting me.
Ron, if you can please stop talking for 1 second, I'll come back to you.
Deleenius.
Okay, Ron. Do you have a parliamentary inquiry? We're set up here, so go ahead.
Just checking for a second to see if I get muted one more time between speech.
Go ahead, Ron.
Thank you. I have a point of order.
Okay.
There was a motion made. I didn't hear you name a second. I didn't see us go into comments. And we just pressed on. Is that what we're doing? Is just motion made, no second confirmed, no discussion on any bloody topic. And then when anybody decides to make any type of inquiry, your staff, whoever's controlling the Zoom, is muting people on the side end. I'm sorry, but that's very frustrating. I had no point on the muting thing until now. Now I'm completely frustrated because I've only not felt dishonored and disrespected, but there's no explanation. And you come on here and you ask for order and you ask for plain discipline with actionary items and so on and so forth. Yet everything that I felt right now in the past 3 minutes has pushed me to this point where now I'm literally angry. So we can do this simply, and we can do this nicely, and we can do this like very plainly, simply. But for Pete's sakes, put the rules into place and follow them. When you rush people out of point of orders and everything else under the sun, excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I'm nearly done. I've got another 5 seconds here. When you push people out of place and you keep jabbing them with your bloody finger in their chest, they're going to get irritated. So put the rules into order and gain this meeting under control to make sure that the Republican Party in the state of Colorado doesn't look like a bloody embarrassment.
Ladies and gentlemen, a part of the reason why this meeting is devolving a bit is because there are a number of people who want this meeting to end and want to jump in and create chaos and create crosstalk. Now, I'm not saying that's you, Representative Weinberg. Your objections are duly noted, and we can certainly have a debatable, or we can certainly debate on an appealable motion. It's my understanding that it wasn't necessarily debatable, but if this is what the committee wants, we'll go ahead and debate the motion to appeal my decision, if that's what this committee wants. But we will do so in an orderly fashion, and that does not mean that you get to unmute and shout. Use the raise your hand function, and then I will do my best to recognize anyone that wishes to be recognized. We have rewritten the question. We are ready to launch the ballot if you so desire, but it sounds like, at least from Representative Weinberg, there's a desire to have a debate. The chair will give his justification on why he believes it to be the case that we can and in fact should continue this meeting based off of our credentialing and our rules process. And then we will open up to those who have raised their hand. My staff will be a little bit more mindful of the muting, but I will say this: if you are shouting and not raising your hand, we will do what we can to mute you so that we can at least hear from those who wish to discuss. Gregory Carlson, it looks to be a desire to debate this motion. So let's go ahead and start the clock at 26 minutes, and then we'll go from there.
Mr. Chairman, can we get another number from the credentials? Because the first time you said it was 328. Now it looks like it's 337. It's a moving target.
Well, people are allowed to come in, Terry. They can come in and they can participate like anyone else. So yes, it has increased 338. And we are checking. Excuse me, everyone.
Sorry, I didn't.
Please raise your hand, everyone.
Well, with a point of order, I did raise my hand, but with a point of order, aren't you allowed just to say point of order?
Michelle, are you?
My only reason is you're talking about doing a debate now on the appeal vote. And according to Robert's rules, correct, you can only talk about it once, and you're allowed to do twice. You're allowed to have an opening statement and a closing statement, and everybody else can say something at least once. Am I reading that inappropriately in Robert's rules? I know we have a parliamentarian that could clarify.
Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate that. I'm going to say my piece, and then I'm going to open up to everyone who wants to speak on this, and we will alternate support versus against, and then we will go to a vote once debate time is exhausted or there appears to be no other people who wish to debate. That's how we'll just do it. I see a number of hands that are raised right now, and so we will do our best to go on in order of those people first, and then we'll just see how this unfolds. So, very briefly, electronic meetings are allowed per our bylaws. And our bylaws give discretion to your state party leadership and staff to do their best in order to facilitate the proper credentialing of an electronic meeting. Previous chairmen have utilized electronic meetings, and they have done what they can to properly credential members that they know to be true members. There is no reason to believe that any of the members here are in fact engaged or are not who they claim to be. There's no reason to believe that someone is engaged in identity theft. And it is the opinion of the chair that this is a procedural gimmick in order to stop or stifle the proper conduct and business of this meeting. Sufficient steps have been taken as outlined previously when asked by John Fielding. In fact, we have done meetings like this before. Last year when we endorsed Donald Trump as a body, we utilized a similar method, and there was in fact no challenge to that. What I would suggest to people here is that if you do not like the proposals that are put forward, then please vote no on the proposals. Please do not engage in parliamentary procedural tricks in order to make everyone's life miserable. And please do not all at once, who are opposed to what we're doing tonight engage in crosstalk, engage in some sort of organized effort to create chaos during this meeting. We are here to simply vote. We have ballots ready to go. The pop-up will come up. We'll even do some test ballots. The appeal of the decision will be a ballot test in and of itself. And then we will do what we can in order to facilitate everyone's voice and vote. So again, everything has been done properly. This is not, in fact, we've done better things than previous chairman, and we are fairly confident.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Chairman, we are not credentialed in. We do not have a final credentialing report. So how can we vote? Can our parliamentarian please answer that? Parliamentary inquiries take precedence, and there are many out there that have not been answered, Mr. Chairman.
No, they have been answered. They have not been answered to your satisfaction. I would please ask no shouting. Raise your hand. We have an initial credentials report, and is at 336. That's it. So
Then I make a motion to adjourn. If we are finally credentialed in, there's a report, I make a motion to adjourn.
there is a motion on the table, and it's the appeal of the chair. I see Weston Eimer. Go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, just based on the fact that we're already 45 minutes into this meeting almost, I would make a motion to call the question.
Is there a second?
Second.
Point of order. If people's hands are raised, you cannot call the vote.
Motion to call the question. Please no crosstalk, everyone. I will go ahead and I will ask Gregory Carlson to tell us his parliamentary opinion on the motion to close debate by calling the question. Okay, Gregory Carlson, in your opinion, was Weston Eimer's motion to call the question properly put?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Eimer was recognized and made the motion to call the question. It requires a 2/3 vote to end debate. In regard to the Congresswoman's parliamentary inquiry regarding adoption of a credentials report, Mr. Chairman, may I offer a suggestion to that question?
Sure. Go ahead.
It would be my recommendation, sir, that a motion be adopted after the appeal is decided, that a motion be considered to authorize the credentials reports to be the ballots themselves. Since the ballots will contain the names and the email addresses of everyone who voted, they will serve as pretty much credentials reports, even if the population of the body changes throughout the meeting. That's just my suggestion.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Parliamentarian. We will move to do that after the vote. Okay, we're gonna do another ballot here because it takes a 2/3 vote, and the question was put by Weston Eimer, and I heard a second. So give me 1 second to duplicate this.
Lauren Boebert just said motion to adjourn.
I'm sorry. There was please no crosstalk. There was a motion put properly, first for the appeal of the decision, and then by Weston Eimer to call the question. No other motions are in order.
Point of clarification.
Go ahead, Michelle. What's your question?
Well, so I was looking at Robert's rules. Is it a 2/3 vote or is it 50+1?
It is a 2/3 vote to end debate and move into the underlying motion.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to give some voting instructions here so that we can help facilitate this. I'm going to launch this poll function here, and there should be a pop-up on your desktop or on your phone if you're using your phone. If for some reason you don't see the pop-up immediately, there should be an option where it says more or next to it where it says polls and quizzes. If for whatever reason that doesn't get to you, we can certainly just take your vote from the floor if there is a problem. I'm going to go ahead and launch this poll right now, and if there are any issues with that, please let Hope, myself, or Anna know via text message or in the chat. And if we really are having a tough time, then please, I'm going to ask everyone that have their hands raised right now, lower your hands just for right now so that we can allow people to be recognized if they're having trouble voting. All right, I'm going to launch the question. I'm going to launch it. This is call the question. A yes vote would be you're in agreement with Westenheimer that we should end debate on this and move forward. A no vote would be you're not in agreement. We want to debate further on this agenda item. The poll has been launched.
So Dave, yes means that the meeting can continue?
Yes means that you agree to end debate on the underlying motion for appealing the chair. So we're voting to end debate right now. That's all.
Mr. Chair, if it's okay, may I ask a question during this time?
Who's speaking?
Gary Melcher.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Is there a way to tell whose hand is raised first? So we have a proper order of who's gets to be called on first?
It's admittedly sort of who, I have to eyeball it along with Hope and Anna and a few other staff members that I've asked, and they're helping me to keep order of that. We'll do our best, and given the time frames that we have allotted in our rules, we should be able to get through mostly everyone that wants to speak.
And I appreciate that. I just think if we're going to call questions and things like that, those that had their hands up first, make sure that they have the time to speak before we do that is all I'm worried about.
Sure. Has everyone voted that wishes to vote? Cody LeBlanc and Cornelius, I think you guys have your hands raised. Do you have voting issues?
I just wanted to call, this is Cody. I wanted to call attention, Representative Lori Sander from Weld County put in the chat that she needs to change her vote. I just wanted to make sure that was noticed.
Lori, what's your vote? We'll have to manually do it. So what's your vote?
Do you want my number so you can text it to me, Lori?
You can do it that way, but it's a public vote. So if you just want to let us know, Representative, we can do that.
You put it in the chat.
Okay, I see it, Dave. Do you see it?
No, got it. Okay. We'll make sure to correct that. Although well, Cornelius, did you have any other?
Yes, if I may, I raised my hand when on the first ballot. I wasn't clear what a yes vote and a no vote was, and with respect to the Eimer resolution, you made it clear what a yes and a no did. Just when we get to vote on the question of adjournment, would you please, Mr. Chairman, say, here's what a yes vote does, here's what a no vote does.
You bet. Okay, is that I got some hands here. I presume they're about voting, but real quick, has everyone else voted aside from Jackie and looks like Representative Barron? Has everyone else voted who wants to vote? Jackie, go ahead. You first.
Yeah, I just misunderstood the question at first, and so I would like to change my vote to yes.
Okay. You bet.
Thank you.
Okay. Representative, you had a question on voting? Representative Barron?
Yes, I apologize. Yep, I apologize. I also misunderstood. I'd like to change my vote to no. I did put it in the chat. I apologize.
Okay. Okay, Mr. Fendelson, you have a question on voting?
Yes, I just saw that Representative Kelty and Paul Prentice also wanted to change their votes in the chat. Just wanted to make sure that was flagged.
Okay. It looks like everyone who's wanted to vote has voted here. So I'm going to go ahead and close the poll.
Point of clarification.
Yes, Michelle?
How do we know if our vote went through?
Well, it's showing me 328 out of 335 voted. I can check your specific name to see if it voted, if you'd like for me to do that.
Yes, please.
Okay, hang tight.
As well, Mr. Chair, it told me at the top of my screen when my vote was cast.
Yeah, it should have told all of them that, but let me take a look at. I want to make sure that Michelle's vote was exactly how she wanted it. I assume, Michelle, you wanted to continue debate, so you were a no?
Yes, sir.
Point of clarification, Mr. Chairman.
Go ahead.
There are folks in the chat who are under the belief that this is a test vote because it was stated that we would use this as a test vote. And so folks are commenting that they hope they get it right after the test vote. So could you please clarify to the group that this is not a test vote, it's an actual vote to call the question and end debate on the motion that is on the floor?
This vote was always a legitimate vote to end debate and move forward. Real quick, Michelle, I wanted to confirm for you that you responded as a no.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and stand at ease for 1 second. We want to manually switch over these votes just to make sure that we get an accurate count here. So please give us about a minute. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have a result here. We had 222 votes to 109 votes. So 222 votes yes to call the question, and 109 votes to continue debate. 2/3 vote was required to adopt this motion, and the vote percentage was actually 67%. And just so everyone is aware, we did switch over the votes that we were made aware of, and we'll go ahead and make that vote tally available once we get it completed. So the total votes are again 222 yes, 109 no, with looks like 331 voting, with the rest choosing not to vote or either abstain or be present. So the question has been called, and now we can go into the appeal vote.
Mr. Chairman, before we vote, I do have one more parliamentary inquiry, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Congresswoman.
Could we please confirm with the parliamentarian if the motion to adjourn takes precedence since it is privileged?
One second here. Gregory, go ahead and give your opinion.
I'll need one moment, Mr. Chair. It's a tricky question because normally the motion to adjourn is not possible to be made without recognition. Did the Congresswoman have recognition when the motion was made?
She did not.
You must have recognition to make the motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the appeal, the decision vote. This is the second vote. We'll try this again, and I'll be very clear on what the vote means. If you wish to appeal the decision of the chair, or excuse me, if you agree with the decision of the chair that we have satisfied enough to meet proper credentialing with respect to Rule 24's ID requirements, then vote yes, and that would mean that people have been properly credentialed. If you disagree and you agree with Michelle Gray that you should overturn the decision, then vote no. So a yes vote, you agree that the party has done what is needed to have a proper identification process for this electronic meeting. Vote yes. If you disagree with the chair's decision, then vote Michelle Gray's position as a no.
I can take this phone right now.
Mr. Fendelson, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. Just point of clarification. If I believe that we should have voter ID rules for voting as a conservative, I would vote no on this. Is that correct?
The question is if you agree with Michelle Gray that we need to ensure, or rather, if you agree with Michelle Gray that we cannot proceed unless everyone has gone through the additional step of showing their ID in some fashion, then you'll vote no. If you agree that sufficient identification measures have been taken to facilitate this electronic meeting, you can vote yes. I'm going to go ahead and open the poll right now so we can move forward. Okay.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
this is Terry, and can you tell us what our credential number is now?
Right now it's showing 340, but after we get through this appeal vote, since debate is over, we'll go ahead and get into a little bit more specifics related to that.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, here we go. The poll has been launched and it should be showing up any second now. We'll give it a few more minutes here. I think 2 minutes is sufficient. We have, looks to be maybe a dozen or so people that still have a chance to vote. So we'll give it another second here.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, this is Mickey Newfer. I did not get a ballot this time, even though I was able to vote the previous couple of times.
Okay, Mickey, have you tried checking your
Click the more at the bottom, Mickey.
more at the bottom?
Pardon?
More at the bottom.
Okay.
Did it pop up for you, Mickey?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Who else? Does anyone else have any voting issues right now? I see hands up, but I want to. Are they?
Chairman Williams, I see there's a question in the chat that says, "Is abstention the same as agreement?" Meaning yes.
No, it's not. It simply means you're choosing not to vote on the question. Have there been anyone who voted abstain or present that wishes to change their vote? If that's the question that's being asked. Okay, I'm not seeing any. Any of the people with their hands raised, do you have any voting issues?
Mr. Chairman, Ron Weinberg here.
Ron, go ahead.
Thank you. Can we ask Gregory Carlson what our bylaws state? Because typically with Robert's Rules of Order, an abstention does make a yes or a no. And I am unclear with what our bylaws state.
Mr. Carlson, if you'd like to explain what the abstention vote means, please feel free to do so.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. At pretty much all votes for this meeting, an abstention will not impact the vote one way or another. In other words, if you abstain, that means you're not voting yes, you're not voting no, you're just present and abstaining. And that will be true for pretty much every vote during this meeting.
Okay. All right, I'm not seeing any other folks here. So we'll go ahead and close balloting.
Mr. Chairman, point of inquiry.
One second. 1 second.
Point of order.
Can you hold on 1 second? Who did the point of order? Just 1 second.
I forgot to get the, hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we're making a record and making sure that it's applied to everyone. So just bear with us. We're almost finished here. We're just making a record.
I voted to end continued debate on whether we should adjourn the meeting.
I agree.
Hey, Cornelius, I don't know if you know this, mate, you're unmuted.
Sorry.
Can you please mute?
Can you please give us the final tally?
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. Sorry for the delay. There were a couple things that we needed to do in order to make sure that we properly recorded everyone's votes. We will go ahead and publish these votes as they have been received so that everyone can see exactly what occurred. For those who have, oh, and by the way, we also needed to discuss some parliamentary processes in light of the vote. So here is the total amount that we have here. 332 voted, 15 abstained, 155 voted yes, 162 voted no. And so by a slight majority, the appeal of the decision was properly passed, and that credentialing was not in compliance with the standing rules that we have. And so as I spoke with Gregory Carlson, as well as the other leadership team, on how best to move forward, there were a number of suggestions that came up, but none of which are going to be probably enough to satisfy what the slight majority wanted here. One suggestion was to have everyone hold up their IDs, but I have a feeling here that a lot of the voters are pretty much unmovable, especially the elected officials that are here. But that's okay. The body has spoken, and so at this point, your leadership is not sure how we can actually facilitate a proper credentialing and check-in process that also is adhering to rule number 24. And as such, it probably makes the most sense to wrap up this meeting and figure out what we want to do in the future for future electronic meetings. I will say personally that if the party moving forward actually wants to do or utilize Zoom calls as it has in the past, this is going to be an issue that will pop up every single time. Not sure what the answer is at the moment, but in light of the fact that 162 individuals want to have something more robust than what was done already, I don't think we can move forward. So I'll go
Mr. Chairman?
Excuse me. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and just adjourn this meeting because I'm not sure how this committee can move forward in credentialing beyond what we've already done. Even though everyone knows,
Everybody turn off mute and let's start clapping.
No, so wait, Mr. Chairman, you just said we
excuse me.
haven't been.
Excuse me. Hold on, everyone.
You lied and said we weren't credentialed.
Even though everyone already knows that we're all here who we claim to be, there's no other way that we can think of in the moment to do credentialing. So I will go ahead and adjourn the meeting. I appreciate everyone's